Could QPR's possession issues hinder their season? Welcome back to Where Superhoops Walk with myself, Luke, talking all things QPR with Jared and Michael. Right, guys, it's been a bit of a tough game to talk about. Tough day in the office against Ipswich, wasn't it, Jared?
Yeah, it was a really frustrating game. Now, let's be honest, at the start of the season, it was one of those games that we wouldn't have expected to win. Ipswich come down from the Premier League, got a really good squad, spent a lot of money on their team. On current form, though, I think we went into it thinking, actually, we've got a chance, and we didn't perform anywhere near our best. And if we had played well and lost, fair enough. But I think a lot of fans left yesterday really frustrated at the level of the performance, the carelessness at which we gave away goals, gave away possession. The individual mistakes cost us massively. So I think it's possibly the most frustrated I've been this season, I'd say.
Yeah, which is if you flip that, it's a bit of a positive because it shows that the season's not been that bad. If that's one of the frustrations, obviously forgetting the Coventry game, we forgot about that one. That one's gone. That one's disappeared. That one's disappeared from our minds. It was the start, wasn't it, Michael? Not the start that QPR would have wanted.
No, I mean, we started both halves on the back foot. I think we went into the second half thinking, okay, we got a bit of the momentum. We can probably turn it around, and then we could see straight away. 2 free kick goals as well, frustrating to concede. Goalkeeper, don't know sort of where he's looking, trying to position it. And we just conceding goals against Hurst, who's a good championship striker that we shouldn't really be conceding. We looked awful. Our defence looked really sort of out of position. We had Escudinha playing as a left midfielder, even though he's supposed to be playing left back. And Steve Cook is we touched on him last week, but he's looking past it.
He's cooked. He's I think there was a few moments that sort of I sort of saw as I was watching the game, and one of the main things that I highlighted was the real mistakes in possession. It was really hard to get a foot on the ball. It was kind of 2 passes, 3 passes, give the ball away, 2, 3. Give the ball away. It was constant mistakes, Jared, and you can't really build any momentum in the game if you don't control the ball.
No, I don't think we had any control at any point. We did pull, we did equalise, but I never felt like we were on the front foot after that goal. But I think the individual errors. I think that second free kick. If you look at the size of the players in the wall. Like most teams put their tallest players in the wall, from what I've seen. Like, I remember weird Koki Saito in the wall. You know, it's like basic things like that. When the guy scored a free kick already, make sure that wall is big and they can stop it. I thought Escudinha at left back was atrocious. That first goal, the way the Ipswich winger went past him, it's unacceptable. And then the third goal, I think it was, where he decided to go and press when he was about 20 yards off the ball, and he just left all the space in behind him. And he's a young kid, and I completely understand he's learning the game, but we're not in a position where we can have 19-year-old kids learning the game at this level, because you're going to get destroyed. And I thought that cost us massively. And I have to say, the manager not hooking him at half time was a really poor decision, I think. But like you said, Luke, the possession thing, we never kind of got a foot on the ball. Maddison struggled to get on the ball. And then we couldn't feed it through to Chair in dangerous positions. I thought Kone wasn't at the races really. So just generally a really kind of, I agree, Michael. Really frustrating performance.
Yeah, and it made me sort of delve a bit deeper just to have a look at the stats in terms of possession with QPR, and QPR are one of the lowest percentage of possession in the whole league over this season, which is quite shocking compared to how the season's going. You know, it's quite a positive season. It's winning games, etc. But then when you look at the possession stats for majority of games, it's been quite low. And is that something that needs to be looked at, Michael?
I think perhaps, but I think we've never been a possession-based side. I think we have gone into games this season being direct, taking our chances, not afraid to take a a shot at goal. And it's something that we never really see us try and play out. We play out from the back, but we sit deep. We let teams counter us, attack us, and then we get them on the counter. So see when Sato came on yesterday, we looked a bit more threatening going forward when he came on, because he's just that direct player going forward, running at the defence and taking a shot at goal. And it's something that perhaps needs to be looked at, but we're very serious about this identity of football that we want to be playing. And I think to the board, we want to be playing this exciting attacking football. And I think in order to do that, you have to sacrifice a bit of possession.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And Chad, we were actually having a chat before the record, weren't we, mate? And I mentioned about the possession stats. And you said that you've actually won in more games that you've had the least possession compared to the games where you've had most possession.
Yeah, I think our last 9 wins have all been in games where we've had lower possession than the opposition. And I think 12 games, last 12 games over this season and last season, where we've had more of the ball than the opposition, we haven't won. I think games like Oxford, where they came in and sat deep and let us have the ball, we just couldn't break them down. And I actually thought playing a team like Ipswich, who would have a lot of the ball, would suit us yesterday, and it absolutely was the complete opposite. And I think one of the biggest issues I have with possession is whichever 4 defenders we play, I don't think any of them are truly comfortable on the ball. I think neither fullback in Jimmy Dunn and Norrington Davis are kind of your fullbacks who are happy to get the ball or to move into midfield. And I don't think the centre backs are good enough either. And I think it's why Ronnie Edwards stood out so much last season, was because he could get the ball, he could break forward, he could make a pass between the lines, and we absolutely haven't got that this season. And yeah, I think we've had a relatively good start to the season, but I do think teams have sussed out the way that we play now, and I think there's going to need to be a change coming up in the next couple of games to kind of maybe just refresh it a little bit, because I think we're a little bit too predictable.
Yeah, I think going to what Michael said about having an identity as a club, I think it's important. It is very important, but I think you do also need to be adaptable, and it depends who you're playing against as well. You know, you can set up slightly differently, etc. And yeah, do you think that there's a reason that you prefer counter-attacking football, Michael, or is it, do you think, no, let's just stick to counter-attacking football, or do you think, no, there is room for adaptation?
No, I think I'd prefer us to be more adaptable, but I think it's something that the board have made their intentions clear in the way they want to see us playing. I think historically QPR have been an attacking side who have been exciting to watch. You look at the strikers we've had in the past, like Les Ferdinand. More recently, you've had Tarapt. We've had attacking excitement down that Loftus Road, and I feel like we want to recreate that now with the players that we're trying to bring in, with the style of play we're trying to sort of get us playing. But yeah, I think being adaptable is something that we need to be if we are going to do anything in this league. You have to take each opponent as they come, and I think it would be naive to go into every game just trying to attack teams on the counter.
Yeah,
I think they have tried to adapt already. I think after that Coventry game, the silly playing out from the back that we didn't have the players for, he kind of sacrificed that to an extent, went a bit more direct at times. And I think after the defeat yesterday, I really hope that he'll kind of look at things and think, actually, what we did well was we had pace. We had either Paul Smith or Saito on the wings, and yesterday he went for Vale and Chair, and neither of which are wingers. They both cut inside, both playing on the opposite side to where their natural side would be. So I think I do still have faith in the manager that he'll kind of look at yesterday and think, right, we just need to change things up a little bit. And I think Wednesday night is going to be quite a tough one now, considering the change of manager there.
I do also think as well, he still hasn't figured out his preferred 11. I think he's chopping and changing too much every week. And I think obviously we've been unfortunate with injuries as well. But I think once we've got that 11 where we know each week roughly 9 or 10 of those players will be sort of in the team. Obviously, unless we have like a double game week, but yeah, I think that is something as well that he needs to do: find his best 11 and then adapt with that 11, sort of going into taking each game as they come.
I was thinking that earlier. It's the first season where we've had proper kind of strength in certain areas, and when you look at Burrell and the form that he's shown, he's found that form because he's played week in, week out. And I think players like Smith, Saito, Dembele, Vale, they haven't quite really got any consistency yet. And it's because they're playing one week, then they're on the bench the other week, then the following week they're not on the bench. And I think those types of players especially need to feel wanted, and it's a tough one because they all probably feel they deserve to play. But I think he's going to have to settle on, like you say, a core 8 or 9 that play the majority of games, and at the moment we just haven't had that.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about team selection, I've seen a lot on Twitter, etc., about the Kone Burrell situation. Should they play as a 2 up top? Should only one play? Kone's obviously been off it a little bit the last couple of weeks. What's your take on it, Michael? Would you prefer to see them both up top?
I think Kone needs to play as a number 9. We've seen his strengths there. He makes too many defensive errors when he drops deep as well. He gives a silly foul away more often than not. But I think it'd be harsh to drop Burrell. I think up top, them sort of strong man, sort of man running off sort of thing could go quite well. But if Kone is going to play, he can't play in a deep role. He needs to play as a number 9, out and out, sort of getting in the right positions and taking advantage, because we know he's got a good shot on him. We know he can finish. But yeah, I think Burrell needs to start. I think that's just the one name that needs to be on the team sheet every week, because his pace is valuable to this QPR side, and he gets to the right spaces, and he's scoring every week. So yeah, I think.
What do you think, Jared? Would you start them both up top? Would you prefer to just start one and have one come on off the bench as a bit of a weapon? How would you see it?
Yeah, I think when we first started both of them up front, I think it was quite exciting to kind of see a team playing a 4-4-2, if you like. But it seems in the last few weeks, Kone seems to be dropping deeper and deeper and deeper, and his confidence just isn't there. He had a couple of chances yesterday where you think, just shoot, just hit the ball, which he was doing early on in the season. I think fitness wise, I don't think he had much of a pre-season because of being kind of in limbo at Wickham a little bit, and kind of, yeah, he doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like he's fully fit. And he would be the one at the moment that I would just give a rest to, definitely on Wednesday night. I think Burrell has really surprised me. I think he offers so much, and he's just a real threat with his pace. So I think there will be times and places to play them both, but right now it would be Burrell to start on Wednesday, and then see what happens from there.
Yeah. Well, let's get into Wednesday then. So it's a home game against Southampton. As Jared mentioned earlier, they've just lost their manager, so there's going to be a little bit of question mark on who's going to be in charge, the starting 11, etc. But just taking Saints for what they've been, what were you expecting, Michael, from the game, and what is your predictions?
Well, I think we need to bounce back again after a heavy loss. And I think he will change the team around. I think we'll go for more inexperienced defence. I could see it being 1-1, maybe 1-0 sort of game to us if we're going to be confident. Can't see us conceding many, but maybe that's me being naive. Because after yesterday, we could concede another 4, but I think we'll turn it around.
Okay. So are we going to pencil in 1-1? Is that what you think?
1-0. Go on.
1-0. I love it. Good. Confidence. Love it. Jared, what are you thinking, mate, from Southampton at Loftus Road? What are we thinking?
I think before the manager went, I think I'd have been pretty confident because things look dire there. But having seen that Ipswich hadn't won in however many away games, and they come there and win 4-1 yesterday, I think he'll change it up. I think we've praised the team's character a lot this season, bouncing back after Coventry, bouncing back after Millwall, and winning at Swansea, coming back from coming from behind against Bristol City. And I think people are just starting to worry that the team's reverting to type now, and it's 3 defeats in 4. So I think it's really, really important that they win on Wednesday night. I think I'll go 2-1 with a really late winner for maybe Kone coming off the bench or something like that. And yeah, under the lights, a last-minute winner.
Yeah,
Nice.
beautiful. There's nothing better than that. Right, Jared, we'll throw it back to you again for the Sheffield United, just so you have a chance to go first. What is your predictions? It's a whole place to go.
It's a hard place to go, but Derby made it look easy yesterday.
It did.
So again, I think it's a real unknown, because I was looking earlier. We've played 5 of the top 6, and 4 of the next 6 games are against teams in the bottom 6. So on paper, you think, oh, that's great, but when the teams are Southampton and Sheffield United, and you don't really know what you're going to get, I think that's a really hard one to call. I think if we can get 4 points from these next 2 games, I'd be thrilled, and I probably would have taken 4 points from the 3 games this week anyway. So I'll go maybe a backs to the wall 1-1 draw.
Yeah, that's respectable. What about you, Michael? We going for 6 points from the 2 games, or what do you think?
No, I think Bramall Lane's a tough place to go. I think if we get 3 points against Southampton, knowing us, will probably struggle a little bit to keep that momentum going. I could see a 1-1 draw as well, to be honest. You get a draw, 4 points out of the 3 games, like Jared was saying, that I'll take that. So.
Yeah,
I think one of the QPR fan sites has done some digging, and I think over the last couple of seasons, when it's been a 3-game week, no team has performed worse than us. So we struggle in 3-game weeks. So it'll be interesting, because having started badly, they can't afford to finish badly as well.
Records are always there to be broken, so you can spin it in a positive way. Right, moving on to our feature of the A to Z for QPR. So we're on the letter E. Michael, we'll start with you, please, mate. So who is your letter E for QPR?
My letter E is Eze, Ebre Eze. I think he is part of the reason why our youth academy is doing so well at the moment, and why players are choosing QPR as a club to develop at. We've shown that we can develop talent and turn them to play for the top clubs in the Premier League. And I think special mention to the fact that the money that we got for him from Palace got us out of the financial mess that we put ourselves in 10 years ago. That money helped us massively to sort of reinvest into the club, sort of turn it around with what we can spend now every transfer window. And yeah, I think he is my letter E, because most notably over the last 10 years, he's been one of the best players I've seen at QPR. And yeah, I think the youth academy probably wouldn't be sort of where it's at unless we got proof that we can turn players into top talent, playing for international teams and for clubs like Arsenal. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you actually make on Eze, because we all know he's such a talented football player, and what he's gone on to achieve has been brilliant. But it shows what that also does for the club he started, come through, etc. To then financially reward that club, being QPR, and to give them that sort of that safety net. It really shows, doesn't it, how what it does to bring up a player of that sort of caliber, how it can help, not just for the short term, but for, like you say, the last X amount of years, you've actually been able to sort of be sufficient. So yeah, that's a great shout. What about you, Jared? Who or what is your letter E for QPR?
I'm going for evening games under the lights at Loftus Road. Some of my best memories have been evening games at QPR. There's something special about them. The first one that I can really remember was a long time ago, 1990. Michael wasn't even born. A FA Cup replay against Arsenal. QPR standing on the terraces. Andy Sinton and Kenny Sansom scored for QPR that night. And yeah, I think from that moment, I kind of really fell in love with those evening games. And the more recent ones, the Liverpool comeback, where we were 2-0 down with about 6 minutes left and came back on 1-3-2. There's something kind of special, and sometimes it's a bit of a chore to kind of make your way there after work, whatever. But sometimes it's really worth it. And yeah, there's been some great nights there. Hoping for one more on Wednesday night now.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Hopefully we get another one of them on Wednesday night. Lovely. All right. Now on to our final feature, which is Tweet of the Week. And it is to do with the Superhoops goalkeeper. Not so super at the moment. QPR fan says we need to sign a new keeper in January. What do we think, guys? Michael, we'll throw it to you first. Goalkeeper, is that an issue?
Yeah, I mean, it is an issue. I think you look at the options we've got. We've got Ben Hamer, who is, although he's got the experience behind him, he's probably not match fit to start for us week in, week out. Paul Nardi's too small. I think that's his biggest complaint. He's small and he makes the wrong decisions sometimes, coming out and punching the ball and flapping at it. And I just think you need a goalkeeper that's going to come in who's got a few years under his belt and that can sort of really sort of assure the back line, because I think the goalkeeper will only be just need someone with a bit more experience. I don't think Joe Walsh is the answer, and I don't think Paul Nardi is either. So yeah, I think we need a goalkeeper to shore up the defence a bit.
What would you do? You agree with that, Jared? Do you think a goalkeeper is one of the positions you fit in January?
I think the mistake they made was dropping Nardi at the start of the season, because I think he knows that he's not first choice. He knows they had no faith in him, and he's only come back in because of Joe Walsh's injury. So I think it's quite a hard position for a keeper to be in. I think keepers are special, and they kind of need to be loved, don't they? And need to know that they're the number one. I think Michael is spot on with the kind of the command that he has of his box, and I think you can get away with it if you've got a really commanding centre half in there. But I don't think we have that either. I think we lack physicality in the area of the pitch. So I think generally he's not really helped out by his defence at times either. But I thought he was good last season, and like I said, I wouldn't have dropped him this season. But it's the one area in January that they're going to have to strengthen, and I think especially if we're in the top 10 or 12 with one eye on the playoffs, maybe I think it's the one area where they will look to strengthen. But it's arguably the hardest position to kind of strengthen and get someone good as well, maybe. But I feel for him, because I think he had a good season, but I think we're in a position where nobody on the books at the moment is going to be good enough. Ben Hamer, I see lots of calls for him to start, but looking back, and he's not started a game for about 18 months, I think it is, and you think there's a reason why a 37-year-old hasn't started a game for 18 months, right? So yeah, I feel January that will be their number one priority.
Yeah, it's a bit like you say, especially if looking if you're in and around it come sort of January time. It's sometimes January's an important window to then get that final push for the playoff places. Right, let's hope for a positive week. I'm feeling good. I think, like you say, four points from the two games would be a great return. Thank you for watching at home, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below. Your letter E for the A to Z and your predictions for the upcoming games.